Welcome back to Perspectives. Today we will be discussing the importance of mentoring in professional development. With me today are Parool and Nathalie. Okay, Parool, Nathalie, welcome back to Perspectives.
Thank you.
We just had a great conversation about execution and the challenges that companies face, and a lot of it came down to people and helping people through the process of change and making sure people are engaged in the project or the change that's occurring so that it's successful. And so we're going to turn to another topic about people right now, which is mentoring. And talk about the importance of mentoring in professional development and where it works and where it doesn't and what it's good for. I guess we'll start off the top. I was reading in the business section last week that KPMG wants to increase the number of female partners in their business, and one of the key strategies that they're using is a formal mentoring program. So why don't we start with that and talk about how successful we think that strategy will be in helping KPMG get to where they want to get to. Parool?
Yeah, sure. I actually think mentoring can be a powerful tool. And I want to make a distinction as a coach that it is actually different than coaching, because I think people use it all in like one big mushy pile of words. Coaching, mentoring, training, all into one thing. But there are distinctions in each. When I hear that stat and they're using mentoring as a main strategy, I guess my first reaction is that really why they think women aren't in senior partnership positions, is because there's a lack of mentoring in their organization? I would challenge that. I actually think there's probably something else going on there.
It's a more systematic.
Probably.
Yeah,
something else really that's underlying that mentoring is not going to be the remedy. Because often what people do, being in training as well, is they say, well, people aren't doing this, so they need more training. It's probably not because they lack training. There's something else going on. I mean, there's an extreme example they use in training. You know, if I was to hold a gun to someone's head and ask them to do it, could they do it? And most of the time, they can do it, right? They know how to do it, or they'll fake their way through it, but they will get it done. So that suggests that it's not about training, that there's actually an internal driver or motivator, something inside that's actually stopping them from doing it. But with a gun to their head, there's a high something at stake here, right? They're going to do it.
Okay, I'll do it.
But that's the reaction, right? That's what compels them to do it, with or without the training. So to me, when I hear, we're going to use mentoring, good for them. I think that's probably one strategy. Hopefully that's not their only strategy to achieve this, because I think there's likely other things interfering.
So if I could paraphrase, and you can correct me, what I'm hearing is that mentoring is a powerful tool to help enable any strategy, but it can't be a strategy in and of itself.
It is absolutely an enabler. But what is it enabling? You need to understand what exactly is enabling.
Okay, that's interesting.
And what's interesting is it's formal mentoring. And I believe in mentoring is like friendship. You have different friendship, especially women's, where we have like plenty of friendship, but we have friends for a different reason. We have one that we want to chit-chat with about love. We have one that we want to go see a movie or to the museum. We have someone else for food and wine. And so I believe about mentoring the same way. I believe that you can have a formal mentor, and that's for one purpose, and often it's business-driven. But you have all those informal mentors, whatever they know or don't know. Because some of my hardest, most difficult manager, I can tell now, they were my best mentor. It was so difficult, but I learned a lot from it. And they don't even know.
They were my mentors. There. I was just actually speaking to that the mentor wasn't a formal mentorship role. Because I think if you have your boss as a formal mentor, there's some, I think, difficulties wrought in there if there's a formal mentor. But you perceived this individual as a mentor because this person helped you grow. I could probably pick out organizations that were my mentor because they pushed me in a certain direction, but they didn't. I mean, how could an organization necessarily know that? But, so I think mentorship it all depends on how you define it, who is mentoring, And just even the relationship here, because you could be my mentor without you, without you even knowing it.
So let's break it down then into formal and informal mentors, and we'll start with formal mentoring programs. And I guess what I'd like to hear is what works in formal mentoring programs. What are things that you should watch out for, and what benefit can they ultimately? What benefit? I guess let's start with what benefit do they ultimately serve, and then what makes them work well, and what are some things to watch out for?
I have a formal mentor right now, and so changed position the last 6 months, so joined a different division in the company, and I was, that division said, okay, we have formal mentors, so within a month I was able to get a formal mentor. So of course, it's interesting because the connection with the person is not something that we developed, it's something that came about.
Well, you had to have it.
Exactly, because he's like, yes, willing to mentor, and I'm like, yes, I'm willing to be a mentee. So here we go. But what that helped me is he helped me understand, because when you change, even when you're in the same company and you change position or department, division, often you think it's the same company, but when the company is big, it's almost like mini companies inside.
Mini cultures.
Mini cultures, exactly. That's very different. So he was able to help me understand that. What will have taken me probably a year to understand of
so
how
the culture
things,
and the politics.
The culture and how does things work, what works well. So I can still do it my own way if I want to, but he shared with me what works well and how I should go about. And it's been very, very helpful.
Good.
Very helpful. And I had some success, I think, because of him.
Yeah. I think it's important for mentorship programs to have, volunteers as the mentors. They have to want to do it. And then have the individual who volunteer to seek the mentee. The toughest part, I think, is making a good fit. Is actually finding a good fit. Because at the end of the day, it's about the quality of that relationship, which
so how
will
could you
result.
go about finding that fit? What's the best way to do it?
How did it work for you guys?
Well, it's working well because I think it's on a professional way, and it's really about this department, and it's working well. And every month we meet once a month.
But how did you determine if the fit was going to be there?
Okay, we had a website. So you go in and you enter your profile. You also enter the skills you have and the skills you want to develop and focus on. So, and the mentor will enter the skills he have and what he's ready to offer and coach on. So that's how the fit was determined.
Nice.
Nice. So
nice.
I know he has
the well-developed mentor program.
Exactly.
Very well developed.
He's successful in those skills, and there was a few skills I wanted, and he have those. And I can tell you, he does.
Yeah.
So that's very good. On the other hand, I have one of the colleague I'm working with, and she came to me and she said, "Would you like to be my mentor?" And I'm like, "Oh, I cannot be your mentor. I've not been in this department long enough." And it's like, you know more than I do. So it's been quite interesting. So I became her mentor. So in this case, we fill out the profile after because we agreed to do it first. And then we realized, okay, I have things that I excel. And so it's a very different connection with that person because we were like, we had a fit already. We knew each other.
You had the connection first.
We had the connection
before the match
first.
was made.
Exactly.
It sounds like one real prerequisite of a good mentor program is understanding yourself, both as a mentor and a mentee.
Of what you need, for sure.
And what you can offer.
Yeah.
And what you're good at.
Yeah.